Yo, it's finna get real. Let's go. Yo, it is about to get really, really real. If you thought it was real, no, it's about to get really real. Dan Bongino, as deputy director of the FBI, Kash Patel, Pam Bondi. I wouldn't want to be the deep state right now. I would not. I ain't committing nobody's crimes. I'm not committing one crime. I'm not. I'm not throwing no can on the ground. I'm not throwing no paper out of my car window. I'm not even gonna pour liquid out of my window while I'm driving, or I'm just not gonna commit any crimes. I wouldn't want to face Dan Bongino, Kash Patel, and Pam Bondi. I don't even want to do it.
It's about to get real, guys. Let's hear what he has to say.
I got a call from the president, and it couldn't have been nicer. And I obviously keep the contents of it between us, but I think you get the gist about what it was about. And kind of broke down a bit because it was this is now real. So President Attorney General Bondi and now director, gosh, that sounds good to say, FBI director Kash Patel offered this role, a role I expressed an interest in. And ladies and gentlemen, I told you, you see, it's hard for me. I'm going to accept the role proudly as the deputy director, the number 2 spot at the Federal Bureau of Investigation.
Absolutely amazing. It is some groundbreaking news right there, and some people are already running for their lives.
See, as you can see, the more you fuck around, the more you're going to find out.
Let's go.
Dan Bongino was offered and accepted the position as number 2 at the FBI under Kash Patel, deputy director of the FBI. Dan Bongino, one of the greatest guys in America, who is former NYPD, former Secret Service, who has been like on the pointy edge of the spear on calling down the BS attacks on Trump and with respect to the investigations against him and all that stuff for a long time now. And to me, I'm amazed he took it, because even though we absolutely could use him, and he's definitely qualified, notwithstanding the fact that he hasn't been at the FBI, all the panties are in a bunch over there, reportedly at the FBI. He's not one of us. Yes, exactly. Right. That's why he got the offer. But I can't believe he took it. I guarantee you he's making millions of dollars doing that podcast. It was very successful. And so good for him. You know, it's a self-sacrifice. He's definitely very close with Trump. He's had a religious reconnection or awakening post his significant cancer experience, which, I mean, he almost lost his life.
He's gonna do great thing as number 2 at the FBI. That's what I believe.
So why do you think Donald Trump and Kash Patel picked Dan Bongino to be the next deputy director of the FBI? I think I know exactly why. I mean, sure, it could have something to do with the fact that he literally wrote the book on all the details and the connections to the Russian collusion hoax, the Ukrainian impeachment hoax, and every deep state attempt to try to take out Donald Trump and his administration during his first run as presidency. Could also have something to do with the fact that for the last several years, he's run one of the most popular podcasts in America, where he spent countless hours meticulously connecting the dots. All of them. But honestly, I think the reason why they picked him is because of this. If you've ever listened to Dan Bongino's podcast, you've heard him say this over and over and over again. And it has fundamentally transformed the way I view politics in this country. Remember the names. That's right. Remember the names, because they're all connected, and there's not that many of them.
It's gonna be wild. The Democrats are running for their lives.
Trump has just added another Avenger to the team, and this one's fucking beautiful. I fucking love it. Trump has just appointed Dan Bongino to be Deputy Director of the FBI under Kash Patel. There is no way that place will not be spick and span and out arresting actual criminals. That will be so nice for a change. If you don't know who Dan Bongino is, he took over for Rush Limbaugh after Rush died. But where he comes from, he was a New York cop. Then he was in the Secret Service, highly decorated. The man is a true red-blooded American. Like, when you listen to this dude, he served under Obama, so, you know, he kind of fucking knows what the fuck is up.
He knows exactly what's up, and he is gonna go after all of these crooked Democrats that have been doing terrible things over the past few years.
Dan Bongino has now been named the Deputy FBI Director. If you're wondering what the Deputy FBI Director is, it's the second highest ranking official right under the Director of the FBI. Donald Trump posted this today. Great news for law enforcement and American justice. Dan Bongino, a man of incredible love and passion for our country, has just been named the next Deputy Director of the FBI by the man who will be the best ever director, Kash Patel. Dan has a master's degree in psychology from CUNY and an MBA from Penn State. He was a member of the New York Police Department, New York's finest, a highly respected special agent with the United States Secret Service, and is now one of the most successful podcasters in the country, something he is willing and prepared to give up in order to serve. Working with our great and new United States Attorney General Pam Bondi and Director Patel, fairness, justice, law, and order will be brought back to America and quickly. Congratulations, Dan.
Congratulations, we are all waiting for more law and order and fairness back in the justice system, and after the FBI, all Americans are waiting impatiently to put their trust back into the FBI now that Kash Patel and Bongino are at the top.
Seeing people float you as the next FBI director, would you do it?
Would I do it? Only if President Trump personally wanted it. Oh, him, if he wanted it. I've never envisioned myself going back in government again, ever. Like, ever. I can't say that enough. Repeating decimal, right? But, you know, there comes a time where I wouldn't even take a salary for this stuff. There comes a time where, you know, your country matters more. And I never got in this stuff for the money or the glory or any crap like that. It just happened. And yeah, it's just, I'm honored that people think that. But yeah, I'm kind of flattered. If he called that, I'd have to consider anything.
And he just accepted it, Deputy Director for the FBI.
No more can they just, take out Kash Patel, but you also have Dan Bongino. No. Now you have this dynamic duo to turn the FBI back into a law enforcement agency. And I trust Kash Patel with my life, and I trust Dan Bongino with my life. And you have 1-2 combo here. And people did not see this one coming. Here is Dan Bongino this morning making the announcement on his program, or reacting to it. Play cut 65.
Obviously, we're going to be working with a team of people to make this transition from me, political commentator Dan, to Deputy Director of the FBI Dan. Those are different roles, require different skills. Skills I have and have used before, and I plan to use again. The vision of President Trump, Attorney General Bondi, and Director Patel, I am going to do my job to implement that vision. And I can tell you right now, we are going to try our best. Every single thing I have in me, every single strand of DNA cell in my body is going to be dedicated towards keeping this homeland safe, no matter what.
This is why all of you chased ballots. This is why all of you gave financially to President Trump and Turning Point Action. This is why all of you register voters. All of our fortitude to grind through the dark night of the soul is paying off. It's not just that we have President Donald Trump, but we have Pete Hegseth, we have Marco Rubio, we have Scott Bessent, we have Bobby Kennedy, we have Tulsi Gabbard, not just Kash Patel, but now Dan Bongino. TikTok.
Absolutely amazing. This is great news for everybody, and Juice just heard it. He's gonna do everything in his power to keep the country safe.
You know, I tweeted, people need to understand the sacrifice he's making to do this. Because I don't know that I could, like, you know, I worked so hard to build this company. If Trump said, we want you to do a civil servant job, we're going to pay you a, 6-figure salary, I'd be like, I don't know, man. Like, I walk away from everything I built and all my plans and all my dreams. I mean, I don't think Dan Bongino had his 5-year plan being like, and then I'll stop building one of the biggest shows in the world in my network and go be a civil servant. But I think for Dan, it's very obvious what his priorities are. And his priorities, it lends itself to his show. When he goes on his show and he says, I am sick of the corruption, people clap for him. They say, yes. And then Trump says, want to deal with it? He goes, yes, I do. And so he doesn't care about the money. He cares about everything he's ever talked about that made his show so big. So shout out to Dan Bongino, man, absolutely incredible stuff.
Absolutely incredible. Let's look at what CNN is saying about this. They are completely melting down over this.
If I may address one issue, you just denigrated Bongino's law enforcement credentials. He was a cop and a Secret Service agent. You denigrated his academic credentials. He has a master's degree.
Just because he was a police officer doesn't make him qualified to run a 38,000 person, $11 billion budget agency, just like Pete Hegseth.
But you know what does? Because he
National Guardsman or everyone doesn't either. Thank you for your service.
The confidence and the pleasure of the president.
And I'm sorry that
terrible. And I'm sorry that you are not yet over the outcome of the election.
No,
in our system,
look at what's happening to our country, and I'll never be over it, Scott. This is dismantling our democracy in front of our eyes, and you guys are okay with it.
We had a city that was smaller than the amount of people that live on this block, and he was the Secretary of Transportation. You had the guy who was stealing luggage. I mean, I think anyone who's defending at any point defending the Biden administration.
But this is the FBI.
So, and this is someone who has a career in law enforcement for many years.
Does Dan Bongino have the qualifications?
They are absolutely losing their mind over this nomination.
Adam Schiff has been the lead hoaxer. He's been out there on television now for a year, looking in the face of you, America, and lying to every one of you in an effort to distract the entire country on a hoax Russia scandal. He is a fraud, and he should be called out as a fraud. He has been lying to Adam Schiff.
Adam Schiff is done. Now that Kash Patel is director, and now that Dan Bongino is deputy director, then Adam Schiff's career is over. And probably one of the most hilarious moments featuring Don Lemon and Dan Bongino right there. You must watch this.
It's supposed to be stupid enough not to understand that and to believe the spin coming from the surrogates and for people like you. You should be ashamed of yourself.
It doesn't make it, Don, frankly, I'm ashamed that you're talking to me as if I'm a child when 12 years of my life
No, you're treating me as a child because you're telling me what I'm supposed to hear. And you're sitting here on television lying to the American people.
You don't know crap about this, Don. You're a TV guy. I was a Secret Service agent. Now cut off my mic. Do what you want.
I'm not going to cut off your mic. I'm going to tell you that you're sitting here and you're lying to the American people. You're lying to the American people, and you know that you're lying to the American people.
I'm lying. Dan Bongino. Right.
Don Lemon, absolute. Nobody cares. Absolute insanity. Nobody cares about what he thinks. Nobody cares about what he says. Honestly, he's not an expert on anything about this. On this subject, obviously, it's great news. Dan Bongino has been nominated and accepted the role. It's gonna be great. Him and Kash Patel are gonna do great things in the future. And the Democrats should not F around, or they are gonna find out with both of them now. At the head of the FBI, it's gonna be some wild couple of years coming up near you. Let me know what you think about Dan Bongino and his nomination. Thanks for watching. I appreciate you being here as always. And click right there to watch the next video, and I will see you there. Bye bye.